Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Live Album War. Hope everybody's doing okay on this gorgeous, sunny Friday morning. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope you're all having your coffee or tea or scrambled eggs or protein shake or bacon or English muffin or bagel or whatever you do first thing in the morning. Thanks for spending your breakfast time with us each and every day. We love bringing you these videos first thing in the morning every day of the week. So today we've got two very cool classic progressive rock live albums. All right, one released in 1977, the other released in 1978. Both kind of put together performances from various locations. In one instance also from various years, but they're both very, very cool. So the first one, and they're both favorites of mine. I love both these bands. I love both these albums. We've got Gentlegiant, Playing the Fool, Official Live, damn good. And second, in the other end of the ring, or the side of the ring, we've got Camel, a live record. Two great British bands, two really notable British prog bands, but not in that upper kind of echelon of like the most successful prog acts. So, both of these bands kind of that second level, right? Just below, Crimson, ELP, Genesis, Yes, Jethro Tull, Pink Floyd, right? You got that next batch, bands like Gentlegiant, Camel, Vandegraaff Generator, Focus, so on and so forth, right? Some of the great Italian bands, PFM, Bonco, that kind of second tier of prog rock greats. So a little bit of info. Let's start off with, of course, Playing the Fool. Remarkable album. Just because, you listen to their studio albums and you're thinking, that shit is so complex, there's no way they could recreate those sounds on stage. Well, you know what they did, and they even amped up those arrangements even further. So here you've got just ridiculously insane performances here of some of the Gentlegiant classics, right? Recorded between September and October 1976 in places like Dusseldorf, Paris, Brussels, and Munich. Okay, so this is taken from a bunch of performances. Okay, throughout that year, released the following year. What do we have here? All right, we've got some stellar tracks, some of the best of the Gentlegiant repertoire up to that time, right? So kicking off with Just the Same. Instantly draws you in from the Freehand album. Just a great tune. One of Gentlegiant's probably more accessible sounding tunes, but still ridiculously complex and proggy, just like classic material from the band. Then you've got the wonderful Proclamation. Okay. On Reflection. Another great tune that shows off their use of counterpoint and the different vocal passages, all right? Just doing the kind of a cappella fugue thing, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? Gentlegiant were so good at doing all that kind of really weird stuff. It's kind of medieval, kind of folky, kind of rocky, kind of classical, right? It's just kind of combines all these different elements. Okay, then you've got the lengthy excerpts from Octopus, which basically is their way of doing a medley of some of the best passages from their classic Octopus album. Fantastic on here. Then the mystical Funny Ways. Okay, the ominous Funny Ways. Love that tune. It's kind of tender, and it bursts into moments of pure rock bliss. Great, great tune. Then the Runaway, off the great In a Glass House album. Rockin', Experience. Another nice rockin' tune here. So Sincere. Again, if you want to hear that vocal interplay, So Sincere is just awesome. It's so quirky. It's just like just amazing, amazing stuff. Where did I leave off? Okay, then you got the title track to Freehand. Okay, which for my money, one of their better like hard rock tracks. Still complex though. Great riff at the beginning, man. And it just goes right into the groove. Just awesome stuff. Then a little kind of play on Sweet Georgia Brown. Get out the recorders, folks. And also called Breakdown in Brussels. And then closing it all off with a little medley between Peel the Paint and I Lost My Head. Okay, which are two killer tracks. One from Interview, one from Three Friends. Okay, kind of put together, again, showing the more rock side of Gentlegiant, who, when they wanted to, were one of the hardest rocking bands in Prague when they wanted to, but they didn't do that, they did a lot of different styles, but they could really rock and rock out. You got Gary Green and his just crunchy, bluesy, usually Gibson Les Paul or sometimes Fender Telecaster too, guitar licks. You got the Shulman brothers, John Weathers, the talent, Kerry Minnear on keyboards. Very talented band, great sounding live album, okay, and the performance is just absolutely impeccable. You could probably say that every track on here equals or betters the studio versions. In a lot of cases, they're a little bit different, which is kind of cool. That's a great thing about a live album, okay? You never know, the unexpected, right? What are they going to do with some of these classic studio tracks, right? All right, over to Camel, okay? Now, this particular one, also a double disc set. I've got the kind of beefed up version, okay, which is got a whole bunch of extra tracks, right? Like it didn't have enough to begin with. But these, like I said, these were recorded, the performance was recorded between 1974, 75, 76, and 77, then album released in 78. We've got a whole bunch of tunes from the Hammersmith Odeon. We've got tunes from Bristol, Leeds as well, the Marquee in London. All right, Royal Albert Hall in London. So, kind of taken from all over the place. So, I'm going to go by what I've got on my CD, okay? So, if you have the original LP, you don't have this CD release that's got all these extra tracks, well, you'll know because you'll hear me say stuff and you'll be like, oh, wait a second, that wasn't on my original double album, right? So, kicking it off on side one or disc one, you've got First Light, Metronome, Uneven Song, really good on here. Skylines, which is absolutely gorgeous. Song Within a Song, great. The great thing about Camel is that they did a lot of the kind of demanding and searing instrumental passages, but man, were they so melodic. Just haunting vocal melodies. Andrew Latimer's just soaring, melodic Gibson Les Paul guitar solos. Peter Barden's wonderful keys. The whole band just really, really talented. You got a bunch of tracks on here that also have Mel Collins on sax, and woodwinds. Of course, the great Mel Collins, formerly and currently from King Crimson, and a lot of other bands. Mel's played with just about everybody. Where did I leave off? The gorgeous Lunar Sea. Okay, what else? Rain Dance, Never Let Go. Great, a lot of instrumental tunes on here, but also a lot of great vocal tunes. Never Let Go, one of my favorite vocal tunes from the band. Chord Change. What else? Ligging at Lewis. And finishing off disc one on here, an extended, absolutely beautiful Lady Fantasy, which for most Camel fans, a top 5 song probably, myself included. All right, then we've got on CD2 here, you've got The Great Marsh, Rioter Goes to Town, Sanctuary, Fritha, The Snow Goose. Of course, then they go and play the entire Snow Goose album. Okay, and this is an entire concert recorded at the Royal Albert Hall in London. So you've got, I don't know if I need to mention all the Snow Goose tracks, but, Friendship, Migration, Rioter Alone, Flight of the Snow Goose, Preparation, Dunkirk, Epitaph, Fritha Alone, La Princesse Perdue or Princessa Perdue, and The Great Marsh, and then a couple bonus tracks. You got The White Rider and Another Night. So again, hearing the whole Snow Goose concept piece played live with an orchestra, with the London Symphony Orchestra, absolute perfection. You got a couple other tracks thrown in there as well. Just a gorgeous live album. It's like the difference between the two of these is like you go to Gentle Giant wanting to be challenged by all those, insane musical passages and the quirky melodies. And here, a different story. You've got a lot of great musical passages, great guitar and keyboard solos, right? The bass work is uncanny on here. But here, it's more for those just kind of stunning melodies that the band created, whether it be vocal or instrumental, musical. It just, So 2 really stunning albums, folks. So if you were to ask me which I would pick at the end of the day, which is my preference, which one for me would win this discussion between the two, it's a tough one, folks. It really is. They're both great. Again, they're both a little bit different, both prog rock, but they're coming from kind of different places a little bit. But I'm going to give the edge to Gentle Giant because I have a lot more history with Gentlegiant and this album, I think. And Gentlegiant, for me, are a top 3 prog band. And I just think this is one of the best prog live albums ever released. I love Camel. They're a favorite of mine too, and I totally dig this album. If I had to pick one, and that's what it comes down to, right? We got to pick one. Who would we pick to go on to round 2 in this classic live album war series we're doing? For me, it's going to be Gentlegiant. But you know what? Your mileage may vary. Okay, you may prefer the Camel album, and that's totally cool too, because they're both great. There's no winners or losers here, guys. There's no right or wrong. There's no this album is better than that album, so to speak. It's all about personal preference. So we're asking everybody to kind of vote on the Facebook page and here on YouTube about which album you prefer. If you had to pick one, which would you like to see go on to the second round of our classic live album wars that's going to continue throughout this month and next month and probably up till Thanksgiving, till we eventually crown one live album that's everyone's favorite here. Which will it be? We don't know. Will Gentlegiant move on to round 2 or Camel? We'll see, right? Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube. So, man, I tell you, I was listening to this Camel live album this morning. Fucking great. And I'm gonna probably playing the fool today during my workout at the gym, because I always love to kind of revisit these every day when I do them, either before I record or after. And they're both so great. So great. I think everybody, when you talk about classic prog live albums, everybody mentions Yes Songs and, Welcome Back My Friends and Genesis Live and Seconds Out and, Jethro Tull Bursting Out and, all that kind of stuff, all the couple Pink Floyd ones that came out in the 80s. But I think if you really, really look at some of the kind of, not the big selling ones, there's some great ones from other bands who maybe didn't, sell millions of copies or whatever or go gold. And I think these two are perfect examples of two just killer live albums that don't quite get the credit they deserve. So if you haven't heard either one, I urge you to. They are both fantastic, okay? Fantastic. And either one is a great introduction to both bands, a great starting point that'll hopefully set you on your way to enjoy the rest of their material. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Okay, we're going to try and squeeze in a questions and answers either tomorrow morning or Sunday at some point. Tomorrow also, remember, I will be live in New York City at Radio City Music Hall for King Crimson tomorrow night. So if you are going to be going to the show, post a comment. Would love to run into you. All right? Say hello. All that good stuff. So guys, we'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.